This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So yesterday, what was the concept we have discussed?
Installation on MQ
Installation
on
of Linux.
Okay. So installation of MQ in the Linux operating system. All right. So I have shared you all the needed things like the softwares and all. Hope you have downloaded and everything is working fine in your computers, right?
Yeah, downloaded the software, sir. Trying to install today. I will, I guess, install the software on my machine. We will try
Okay.
to do the installation part.
All right. Sure. Okay. So from today onwards, we are going to start with the module number 3, which is MQ command line interface. Like we're going to deal with the queue manager commands and we're going to deal with the IBM MQ objects command. So pure MQ administrative work we're going to start from today. So let me open a notepad. Okay. So IBM MQ command line interface. So first we'll start with the queue manager level commands. Okay. So before starting with this, let me explain you one thing. In MQ, we have two types of commands. They are MQ operating system level commands and number two, okay, so this is first one, and number two, queue manager level commands. So queue manager level commands are also called MQSE commands, which stands for MQ script mode commands. So MQ operating system level commands means we are going to execute all these commands at the operating system level, and queue manager level commands means we are going to execute those commands inside the queue manager. So today we are going to start with the MQ operating system level commands, so the base commands. So I have already switched on my VMware and I have already logged into my RHEL. So this is my mobile exam. Now I am taking the SSH session of our server where we have installed MQ yesterday. So initially I will log in as a root and I will enter my root password. Now I will have to switch to MQM user because MQ commands are going to work when you switch to MQM user. Even root user also cannot execute MQM commands. Now I have logged in as MQM user. Okay, so we already know one command which we have seen yesterday, that is DSP-MQ-VER. So what does this command do?
So this will display the MQ version and related things.
Exactly. So if you want to verify if MQ is installed or not in a particular server, the command is DSP-MQ-VER, that is going to display you which version of MQ is installed on this machine. So it is IBM MQ product with the version 9.1 and this is on Linux 64-bit. So everything. So this is the installation part and this is the working part. Everything that is going to be show you. And this is having it's a trial version. It's not a licensed version. Okay, so the first command we already know in MQ commands is DSP MQ VER. So this command to display the installed MQ version in the server. So let me save this. Desktop. Okay. All right. Okay. Now the next command I'm going to show you. So it's about the queue manager commands, which is MQ operating system level commands. So, okay. Let me ask you one question before moving to the next command. So in MQ, what is the first and base entity?
Sorry, first and
First and main entity. What is main thing for MQ?
so it is queue manager only.
Exactly. So first of all, if you want to do any kind of MQ admin kind of stuff, you need to have a queue manager, because without queue manager, you can't do anything. So because queue manager is a main system program, like if you remember the technical introduction session, I already told you, queue manager is a main system program that is going to manage all your MQ objects. So without queue manager, there is no MQ. So first of all, now I want to see, okay, now MQ server software is installed. Now I want to see if any queue managers are there or not in the server. So the command is dspmq. What this command will do is it will display the queue managers list in the server. So for example, if I go to the server, if I execute a command called dspmq, see, the command has been successfully executed. We have not got any error. But the thing is, we are not able to see any output. The reason is no queue managers are created yet on this machine. Yesterday, we just installed it. That's it. We have not created any queue managers. That is the reason it is not showing any queue managers list. But the thing is, this command has been successfully executed without any issue. Now, if I want to create any queue manager, a new queue manager, the command is going to be like this, crt mqm. So this is the command of creating a queue manager. So crt mqm space, and you have to give a name to the queue manager. So for example, I am giving a name called, say something like qm1. So qm1 is the name of my queue manager one, which I am creating. So in MQ, just remember one thing, when you are giving any names, right, make sure all should be in capital letters, because that is what the standard we follow in the real time. So it doesn't mean that if I create a queue manager with small letters, it is not going to create. It's not like that. It will definitely create, but make sure it should be capital letters. So this command is to create a new queue manager called qm1. So now I am executing the same command in my server. crtmqm is the command, qm1. So here crtmqm we are executing at the operating system level. So we are in the operating system mode and we are executing this command. So that's why this command is called MQ operating system level commands. Okay. So I have entered my command now. Now when I hit enter button, now see what happens. There is some information. Queue manager has been created and working directory is created in var mqm path, and the queue manager is associated with installation 1. So installation 1 is version 9.1, and fine. So setup has been completed. Now for creating queue manager, we have not got any errors. Now if I execute dspmq command again, so dspmq command which will display the list created queue managers. So before creating qm1, we have got no output, but now see, now it is showing qm1. So QM name is QM1. Its status is ended immediately. So the thing is, whenever we create a queue manager, so in the beginning, the queue manager status will be down. It will be ended immediately state. So we are going to discuss what is this status shortly. But before that, let me show you one thing. So now QM1 has been created. Now, for example, if I want to create another queue manager, say QM2. So the command is going to be crtmqm QM2. Now what happens? Another queue manager QM2 will be created in the same server. So if I execute dspmq now see, we can see two queue managers, QM1, QM2. Like this, we can create n number of queue managers in a server. There is no limit. But in the real time, generally we create 3 to 4 queue managers. So that's it. Even in my career also, I have never seen more than 5 queue managers in one server. Okay. Now the queue manager, I mean, there are two queue managers which have been successfully created. But the thing is, if you see the status of the queue manager, it's ended immediately. So for every queue manager, the status is very, very important. So the status says what is the functionality, what is the current status of the particular queue manager. Right now, the status says ended immediately. It means now the queue manager is down. As soon as we create a queue manager, it will be down only. So the thing is, in order to make work with this queue manager, we have to start the queue manager. So to start a queue manager, the command look like this. So str mqm qm. So str mqm is another command that is going to start a queue manager. So to start queue manager qm1. So now I am executing the same command str mqm qm1. Enter. Now see, there is something executed, and give me 1 second. Yes. Oh, I think okay. Sachin, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So it means something problem with the
It was a momentary fluctuation. It was momentary fluctuation.
all right, fine. So when I execute str mqm qm1 command, it says that IBM MQ Queue Manager QM1 has been started with a version 9.1 binaries. Now, if I execute DSP MQ command, now see the queue manager status QM1, it is now running. So, but the QM2 is still ended immediately because we have not started QM2 yet. So this is the command to start a queue manager. Now the thing is, in order to execute to do full-fledged MQ admin permissions like creating a local queue, creating a remote queue, creating a channel, or managing them, everything we can perform inside the queue manager only. So the thing is, we have to enter inside the queue manager to perform the MQ admin kind of activities. So to enter inside the queue manager, there is a command. Command is run mqsc qm1. So run mqsc means we are running the scripting mode of qm1. So this run mqsc command is to enter inside queue manager qm1. So this is the syntax. So run mqsc qm1. Enter. Okay. Is it fine now, Sachin?
Yes, yes.
All right. Now, when I execute run mkc qm1 and then hit enter button, now see starting the mqsc script mode of qm1. Now we are inside the queue manager. Okay. So when we are inside the queue manager, only mq admin commands are going to work. The operating system level commands are not at all going to work when you are inside the queue manager. So, fine. So when we are inside the queue manager, now we can perform all kind of admin kind of activities from MQ side. Now the thing is, okay. Now today we are not going to see what are the admin kind of activities we are going to see, but we are just going to see MQ operating system level commands for today. Okay. So run MQS is one of the MQ operating system level command that will be used to enter inside the queue manager. Now, if I want to come outside the queue manager, there is one more command we have to execute that is called end. So end is a command to end the script mode of QM1. Now you will come outside the queue manager. Now we are at the operating system level. We are not inside the queue manager. So end is a command to come out from the queue manager. So here end becomes a queue manager level command because we have to execute this end command when you are inside the queue manager. So it will become a queue manager level command. But run MQC will become a MQ operating system level command. Okay. Now, 1 second. What problem is facing? Okay, he's not able to connect. Why? Okay, Sachin, so just wait.
Okay, sir.
So I'll reply him.
This conference will
Correct.
now be recorded.
That's correct, Sachin. Only with the
Yeah.
npm user, you will be able to execute npm commands. Even with the root user also, you can't execute those commands.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm finding a difference, because I'm and just now I logged into one of my production box, and I'm a root user, and I can see I just given the DSPMQ command, I can see that queue managers names are there.
No. Try to execute run MQSC space queue manager name and see if you are able to enter.
One second, because with root user I can see all the queue manager names they are running. They are running
That's
status.
fine. That's fine. You can execute the DSPMQ command, but try to execute run MQSC space queue manager name command and then see if you are able to enter inside the queue manager.
Yeah, I could enter, and I just a minute. I'll just
Try now.
run it again. Yeah, I'm a root user. Run MQSC and queue manager. It says starting MQSC for queue manager. The name of the queue manager.
What? Are you able to inside the queue manager?
I'll just put it in a chat window.
Yeah.
It gives
Put it.
something like this.
Put it.
Yeah, here it is.
Hold on.
But it doesn't give the
It is,
prompt. But when I give the end command, it comes out of the MQSC.
it means you are able to enter inside the queue manager with the root user. It means that your root user must be a member in the MQM group. So execute this command
Yeah.
and then show me the output.
Okay. ID root.
So execute this command and show me the output. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a part of root MQM group.
That is the reason. So which user is a member of MQM group, they can execute the command.
Okay. So whoever is a member of MQM group, that particular user can run this MQ related commands. Is that so?
Exactly. So
Okay.
can you see on my screen once?
Yes.
Okay. See. So right now I have logged in as a root user, and in this machine, the root user is just a member of root group. It is not a member of MQM group, right?
Okay.
So I can execute DSPMQ commands, everything. But if I execute run MQSC QM1, when I try to enter inside the queue manager, it will throw me an error called not authorized.
Okay.
Because root user not a member of MQM group. That's the reason.
And the reason why I ask you, because we have a application on this production application on this server, and the application owner, they are doing some maintenance activity. That time they refresh the queues, stop and start the queues. So that is the reason why they have made it so.
All right. So could be. Yeah. Fine. So let's wait for sometime.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's in. Rahul is in.
Okay, Rahul.
Okay, Mohan sir, I joined again.
All right. So it's a problem with the GoToMeeting application in your laptop. Even sometimes, I also face the same issue. GoToMeeting not able to join. At that time, I blindly reboot my laptop and it will work. That is the reason I suggested the same.
Okay.
Okay. So Rahul, where were you? So are
The
you
first
now?
command only. After that, I got disconnected.
Oh, DSPMQ only?
The first command you covered, then I got disconnected.
Do you see my screen?
Yeah, DSP MQ version.
Okay. All right. Guys, just give me a moment. One moment. Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So Rahul, are you okay with the DSPMQ command, line number
Yes.
7? Okay. Are you okay with the CRTMQM command, line number 8?
Sir, can you show me that, because I have not seen that
All right.
command.
All right. Fine. So the thing is, okay, let me do one thing. So the thing is, to create a new queue manager in a server, the command is going to be CRTMQM. So the thing is, we already know the importance of a queue manager. Queue manager is base of each and everything, and without queue manager, you can't perform anything in a from MQ perspective. So to create a queue manager, the command is CRTMQM space that particular queue manager name. So here I have just chosen QM1 as a queue manager name. So if you want to choose a different name, you can always choose that. So for example, right now in this mission, if I execute DSPMQ command, there are already two queue managers, QM1 and QM2. Now, if I want to create a queue manager, third queue manager, say QM3. So the command is going to be CRTMQM space QM3.
Okay.
And then hit enter, so that we will get some information queue manager created, and queue manager 3 is created in a working path called var mqm, and in the final line you can see setup has been completed. Now if I execute DSPMQ command again, now see we can see three queue managers, QM1, QM2, QM3. Before creating QM3 there were only two queue managers, QM1 and QM2. But after creating QM3, now we can see three queue managers. Like this, you can create n number of queue managers in a server. There is no limit. But the thing is, in real time, generally we will be having maximum 4 to 5 queue managers in one server. Even in my career also, I have never seen more than 6 queue managers in a server. Okay. Now we need to talk about something called queue manager status. So the thing is, whenever we create a queue manager, right now we just created a QM3 queue manager, right? So this queue manager status is ended immediately. It means whenever we create a queue manager, the queue manager will be in shutdown status. So it is our responsibility. We have to start the queue manager. We have to make it as a functional. So to start a queue manager, the command is strnqm and then the queue manager name, so that the queue manager will come to running state. So for example, here, if I want to start QM3, the command is going to be strnqm and then give your queue manager name, QM3, so that queue manager will come to running state. So if you see the line here, IBM MQ queue manager QM3 started using version 9.1 binaries. Now if I execute DSPMQ command, now see the status of QM3 is now running status. It means now it is in functional.
Okay.
So now the thing is, if we want to perform any MQ admin kind of activities, we must enter inside the queue manager. Outside the queue manager, you can't perform any MQ admin kind of activities. So for example, if I want to create a local queue, or if I want to create a remote queue, or if I want to delete an object, if I want to start anything, everything we can do inside the queue manager. So if I want to enter inside the queue manager, say QM3, the command is going to be run MQSC. It means run MQ script mode of that particular queue manager. So for example, if I execute run MQSC QM3, enter, now see, starting MQSC for queue manager QM3. Now we are inside the queue manager. We are not the operating system level now. Now you have a complete control in terms of MQ administrative perspective. So when we are inside the queue manager, we can perform only MQ admin tasks. Only MQ commands are going to be executed. Operating system level commands are not going to be executed when we are inside the queue manager. Okay, so for example, okay, now we are inside the queue manager. Now I want to come out from the queue manager. So when we are inside the queue manager, so if you want to come out that particular queue manager, we have to execute one queue manager level command that is called END. END is a command that is to come out from the queue manager, to end the script mode of the queue manager. So for example, if I execute end command here, hit enter. Now see, again we are at the operating system level. Now we are not inside the queue manager. So if you want to enter inside the queue manager, you have to execute a command called run MQSC, which is MQ operating system level command. If you want to come out from that particular queue manager, you have to execute a queue manager level command that is called end command, so that you will come out from the queue manager.
Sir, the commit will happen after you hit the end command,
Exactly.
or do we have to run any specific command to commit all the things?
No. When you execute, when you type end command and then hit enter, so that it will be executed. That's it.
Okay.
So for example, if I want to enter inside QM1, what is the command? Tell me.
Run MQSC QM1.
Exactly. Run MQSC must be small because it's a operating system level and Unix is a pure case sensitive. So run MQSC and give your queue manager name. So QM1 is capital QM1. So give like that. That's it. Now we are inside QM1. So if I want to come out from the queue manager, we have to execute one command called END, which is a queue manager level command. Now when I press enter, that's it. Command will be executed. Now you will be out from the queue manager.
Sir, now QM2 is stopped, right? So if we don't run the command like to start the queue manager, can we enter without starting the queue manager?
Good question. No, you can't enter. For example, right now QM2 is ended immediately state. If I want to enter inside QM2 with the help of run MQSC command, it is throwing an error. IBM MQ queue manager not available because this queue manager is down, so you can't enter inside the queue manager. So now if I start the queue manager QM2, now queue manager has been started, and if I execute the status, DSP MQ command, now it's running. Now see, run MQSC QM2, perfect. Now we are inside. Now if I want to come out, execute end command. Now you are at the operating system level.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so hope you are clear with this basic queue manager command.
Yes.
Okay, how to create, how to start, how to run. Now the thing is, I will tell you few more queue manager commands. So for example, if I want to shut down a queue manager, say I want to shut down QM1, the command is end mqm and then the queue manager name you have to mention, so that queue manager QM1 will come to shutdown state. Hit enter, so that it will show you an output. Queuing request has been accepted. Queuing request means shutdown request. So your request has been accepted and the queue manager will stop when all outstanding work is complete. So this information says you that in queue manager 1, whenever it is started, at the back end some processes will be starting up. So when we execute shutdown command, the request will be accepted and it will stop all the queue manager related process, and then the queue manager will go down. So for example, if I execute DSP MQ now, see, Now the queue manager status is ended normally. It means now the queue manager is down. So to shut down the queue manager, the command is like this. To shut down the queue manager QM1 like this. Now, if I want to delete the queue manager QM1, right now I really don't need this queue manager to be existed. I want to delete this queue manager. So the command is dlt mqm is the command, and you have to mention that particular queue manager QM1. That so that you will get an information queue manager QM1 deleted. Now if I execute dspmq command, now see we can see only QM2 and QM3. We don't see any QM1 because it's been completely deleted. So the command to delete a queue manager is going to be dlt npm and then the queue manager name, so that delete the queue manager QM1. Okay. Now let me ask you one question. For example, if I want to delete the queue manager QM2, what is the command?
DLT MQM QM2.
DLT MQM and the queue manager.
QM2. Okay. Now what do you think, guys? Is this command really going to execute? Is this command really going to delete QM2 now?
No,
We have to stop
because
the
it
queue
is not
manager
shut
first.
down.
Exactly. Whenever the queue manager is in running state, you can't delete any queue manager. For example, see, when I try to execute this command, MQ shows you an information IBM MQ queue manager is running. It means this queue manager is running and the queue manager cannot be deleted. So that's the beauty of MQ. Whenever you are doing something not in a proper way, MQ will show you what is that wrong. By seeing that output, you will get a clarity. Okay, so this is the thing what has happened and this might cause the problem. So you can easily guess that. So the beauty of MQ is MQ will say you, hey, this is the error. So you can't execute this command. Now, if I want to delete QM2, first of all, we need to shut down QM2 and then we need to delete the queue manager. So to shut down the queue manager, we already know the command. So endmqm and then the particular queue manager name. Now request has been accepted. Just execute dspmq one more time. Now see QM2 is now ended normally. All right. Now we can delete the queue manager. Done. See, it's now deleted. Now we execute dspmq. Now see, only QM3 is there. Okay.
Sir,
So,
one question here.
Yeah.
The states are showing ended normally running. In above, it was showing starting immediately. So what are the states?
I will come to that. Just give me a
Okay.
moment. I'll come to that. Okay. Before explaining about the full statuses, I need to explain one more thing.
Okay.
Okay. Now see, the queue manager 3 is running, right? So the thing is, whenever a queue manager has been started, right, at the back end, there will be some MQ operating system level processes that will be associated for that particular queue manager. So for example, right now QM3 is up and running. It means there are some MQ processes running so that this queue manager 3 is properly running. So if I want to see what are all the MQ processes associated for QM3, there is a Unix command that is called ps-ef pipe grep, give that particular queue manager name. I hope you already aware what is mean by ps-ef pipe grep, right?
Yes.
All right. If I execute this one, see, this QM3 is having multiple processes. AMQ ZX MA0, AMQ Z FUMA, AMQ Z MUC0, like this. And all these processes are running from OPT MQM bin. What is OPT MQM?
The binaries.
Yes, MQ installation path. So all the MQ binaries, all the MQ processes are going to be stored in OPT MQM binaries path. So out of these all these processes, you see AMQ RR MFA. This is one of the crucial process for a queue manager. If this process has been terminated, your queue manager will go to shutdown status for sure. For example, this AMQ RR MFA, it is like a repository process. So what is a repository process? That I'm going to explain you in a cluster session, not now. but repository is like a brain. Like human brain is very important for us, right? Like this AMQ or MFA is a brain for that particular queue manager. If this brain is killed, if this process is killed, that's it. Queue manager is going to down. For example, this AMQ or MFA right now working with a process ID called 2641. Now what I am doing is I am going to kill this process. Kill -9 and process ID 2641. Enter. Process has been killed. Now if I execute DSP-MQ, come on, queue manager is running. No. See, you see the status ending primitively. Ending primitively is always a problematic status of a queue manager. So ending primitively means there is really something wrong with the queue manager. So if I execute DSP-MQ now, see what is the status of the queue manager? Ended unexpectedly. Okay. So the thing is, queue manager ended immediately. That is fine. Okay, let me show you one thing. I will create a queue manager called QM1. So when I create a queue manager, the queue manager status is ended immediately, right? So ended immediately, that is fine, because when we manually shut down the queue manager, then the queue manager status goes to ended immediately. It means someone has intentionally shut down the queue manager, and you completely aware why this queue manager is going to be down. So this is completely fine. But ended unexpectedly, this is a problematic status, guys, because some queue manager process has been terminated abnormally. So this is always a problematic status. So ended unexpectedly generally comes if a queue manager critical process has been terminated, has been abandoned abnormally. So that is the reason of ended unexpectedly state. So although it is ended unexpectedly state, when you start the queue manager using str nqm, queue manager will definitely start. It will restart all its processes. Now queue manager qm3 is now running, and if I do ps-ef pygrid qm3, see now all the process has been restarted. But why it gone down? It means someone has abnormally terminated this relevant process, which is not a good one, which is not an expected one. So got a clarity about ended unexpectedly state?
Sir,
Yes.
there is one question, like if queue manager is ended unexpectedly, okay, what will happen to the transaction which are inside the queue manager?
Everything will be abandoned. Everything will be terminated. Which is a problem.
Let's say like application one is trying to push some data to queue manager,
All right.
and the data is in between the application and queue manager. Okay,
All
so
right.
and in at that point of time, queue manager shut down unexpectedly. Then what will happen,
All
sir?
right. Good question. Do you see my paint?
Yes.
Okay. So for example, let's assume I have a queue manager, say QM1. So the black color rectangle, let's assume it's a queue manager. Well, all local queues, everything is there. Now let's assume there is a client, there is an application.
Okay.
This application is trying to connect to the queue man. It's connected to the queue manager and putting some messages into the local queue of a queue manager one. Now it is sending message number 1, message number 2, message number 3, everything is fine. Now it is trying to send message number 4, and this message number 4 is now in the air. It is in the network, and when it is transporting, when it is in the network, let's assume this queue manager ended unexpectedly state due to some problem. Now
Okay.
this connectivity will be abnormally terminated, and then this message 4 will be vanished over the network. So you can't do anything over it, because application has released the message, but this queue manager has been shut down. Whenever that message is in the air, that's it. It is vanished in the air. It will be
Sir, but
disappearing.
anything will get printed in log?
Yes,
For that
definitely.
matter.
Definitely something will be triggered in the log. For example, I will show you. Right now, queue manager 3 has been shut down, right? I mean
Right.
ended unexpectedly, right? So the thing is, whenever queue manager ended abnormally, definitely something will be recorded in the queue manager log. So the queue manager log will be in the path where MQM, queue managers, QM3. So what is this path? We are going to discuss in the log, but right now just blindly remember this will be the log path of QM3. And if I go to errors directory, there will be 3 files, ls minus lr3. Okay, this is the file where log will be recorded. So go to the bottom line. So go up, go up, go up.
Sir, one question, like why always 3 logs are getting generated?
There is a very big reason for that. That we are
Okay.
going to discuss in the log file. If I want to
Okay.
explain that, that will again take another 30 minutes.
Okay, sir. Fine. No issue.
So let's wait till the log session.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on, come on, come on. Okay, let me do something.
Sir, I am asking this question because I am using this queue managers and MQ on daily basis. So hope you
That's
will
fine.
understand.
I totally understand. That's fine. I totally understand. That is the reason I am why I am showing you the basic information, which will be help you for your current work.
Yeah, yeah.
See, the thing is, if any person asks me about the logs, I straight away deny the request. Do not wait till the log session. I will directly say that. But why I am showing you this? Because you are already facing some issue, already facing some challenges in your current project. That is
Yeah,
the reason I am why I am showing you log file. Okay. See, if you see this on this date, on this time in the log, an essential IBM MQ process 2641 AMQ or RMFA cannot be found and it is assumed to be terminated. So we have intentionally terminated that 2641 process, and that is getting recorded in the queue manager log. So it is recording
correct.
in the log, right? So everything is going to be recorded in your log, guys. Everything, each and everything. MQ will never miss anything.
Yes, sir. This data will get captured in the MQ log,
Correct.
but the message which is in the air, that
Uh-huh.
log will be present somewhere.
No, no, no. Because see, this message is not yet reached MQ, right? So MQ will
Yeah.
never take care of this message.
So I guess that logs we have to check on application level itself.
Right. This application people has to resend this message.
Okay. Got it, sir. Fine.
Yeah. So they have to resend it again. So as this message is not yet reached MQ, from MQ perspective, we can't do. Whenever, see, when you want to do any courier service, first of all, you have to go to the courier office and you have to give your product, give your parcel to them. Then only they can handle.
Correct.
If you're traveling in the middle and you lost, if your product has been stolen, then courier service can't do anything, right?
Yeah. Correct, sir. Correct.
So yeah, so the same concept applies here.
Fine, sir. Okay.
All right. So where are we? Yeah, end npm, delete npm, and the sum status of the queue manager we are discussing. All right. Okay. Now, yeah. So now if I want to shut down the queue manager QM3, okay. So the command is end npm QM3, so the queue manager will shut down. Now see, the queue manager status will become ended normally. So ended immediately, ended normally, both are fine because we have intentionally shut down the queue manager for some activity, for some purpose, which is fine. But ended unexpectedly, it's a problematic status because you don't know why it became shut down. It's a problematic status.
Sir, I
So
can see you are firing commands in any of the path. Like it is not
right.
path specific commands, right?
No, these are not path specific. That is the reason why we set it as a primary installation. What the
Oh,
primary installation will do is the operating system will make your MQ commands as a recognizable commands, so
okay.
that you need not to go to the absolute path of the command and you need not to execute that. You can execute from any path. That is the meaning of setting primary installation.
Okay. Okay. Got it, sir.
Yeah. So if I want to delete the command dlt mqm qm3, done, deleted. And if I want to delete QM1, so we can say DLT MQM QM1, perfect, delete. Now see, there are no queue managers at all. Okay. So on one more thing, never execute delete command and shutdown command in your real-time project. Don't do that. Okay. So yeah, so that's all with the basic queue manager commands. So for today, your homework is, guys, do all setup in your laptop, like install the virtual machine which I have shared you, and install the Linux operating system and install MQ software, and then work on some basic MQ queue manager commands so that you will get habituated of executing MQ commands. Once you are familiar, then from tomorrow we are going to see some in-depth basic administrative commands in terms of queues and queues and objects. All right.
Fine, sir.
Okay, sir.
All right. So that's all for today. We'll meet tomorrow again at 10 a.m. IST. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Would you
sir.
be sharing this notepad, Mohan sir?
Yeah, I will share this notepad in WhatsApp.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Thank
See
you.
you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye.
Fine, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, Rahul. Bye.